Hello and welcome to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. I'm Swebb.
And I'm Dad.
And we are the dad and daughter duo talking about all of our favorite sports moments from the week. Dad, you look good.
Oh, thank you, Swebb.
How's it going?
It's going pretty well. It's
Yeah?
going well. Yeah, it's going well.
What have you been up to?
Well, went up to Chapel Hill Friday night and saw Carolina and Kansas.
And glory hallelujah, you got to see a victory.
Yes.
We know how much bad juju you like to bring to live game action.
The joint was jumping, Swebb. The joint was jumping.
So Mom, of course, got you a birthday gift.
Yes, she did. She did good. She did good.
Tell us about it. What?
The game
Give us the play-by-play.
They have a good team this year. This is when Hubert Davis took over the team a few years ago. This is the kind of team that he envisioned. A lot of size, and almost everybody on this team can shoot the basketball. Everybody can shoot. Everybody. And when I say shoot, I'm talking about from 3 in. Everybody can shoot. And everybody passes. Everybody handles the ball. It's a real Carolina team. Brings back memories.
College basketball season has started.
It's here.
Carolina is on the list of all the teams that you follow and support across all sports. Mm-hmm. Carolina ranks towards the top. Where would you say?
I would say 2. Yankees 1. Carolina basketball and Michigan football 2. Knicks. Jets.
The Jets are down there. You couldn't even get that out.
Rangers.
Okay, so it was a good birthday gift.
I lose
you guys
sleep
drove up to
when the Yankees lose a big game, or when Carolina or Michigan lose a game. The other teams,
you're kind of used to it.
Yeah.
So
I've been beaten into submission.
Yes. It takes you a while, but sometimes you're a quick study. Okay, so you drove up to Chapel Hill.
Yep.
The game was on Friday night, the second game of the season for them. First time that Kansas actually played at the Dean Smith Center.
Yes, first time they ever played there. Every time Carolina has played Kansas over the last 30 years, it's been on a neutral court or it's been at Kansas, like it was last year when Carolina lost by 3, and this Friday night they won by 13.
So they won by 13.
And the building was rocking. It was like it was a Duke game.
Mom did good with the birthday gift.
Yes, she did. She did a good job.
And she got you some merch?
Yep, she got some merch. I said to get me a hot dog, and she came back with this outfit.
Well, that's good because you don't need any more hot dogs.
Oh, I got the hot dog too.
Okay, so you had fun.
Yeah.
You got to see a victory. You didn't bring any bad luck because the last time you went to a game for one of your teams was this summer when the Yankees played the Marlins in Miami, and they lost all 3 games. So hey, we're getting back to a decent batting average here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so what else has been going on? We haven't recorded in a few weeks. We've been a little busy.
Who's been busy?
Well, I have. Sorry, people.
Every time I see you on your Instagram page, you're either decorating a Christmas tree or you're out and about someplace. You're busy.
So
busy doing what? You know.
I did put up the Christmas tree, getting the dust out of there. I'm going to decorate probably later today. We're recording on a Sunday, so it's halftime of the Jets game. They're tied 17-17. A few weeks ago, a friend had an opportunity. She invited me down to Miami. She had a free place to stay, so I went, got to see the Knicks play against the Heat. They lost, so some of that bad luck that you bring to your teams, I brought to the Knicks down in Miami.
That was 2 weeks ago.
That was 2 weeks ago. Then I've just been working. And yesterday, Saturday, I went to a tall person meetup.
What is that?
So there's this guy on Instagram who is 6'9". He goes to different cities and he throws these like happy hours essentially for tall people. So yesterday there was one in New York and I went with one of my friends.
A tall person meetup.
Well, you don't know about these things because you're only 5'10". I'm taller than you.
Well, no, I'm 5'11" in the program.
No. That's what short people say.
I'm 5'11" in the program.
Okay, that's what the short people say. So he throws these events. There were like 300 people at this rooftop bar in New York City, and the tallest man there was 7'4", not a professional athlete. The tallest woman there was 6'6".
Oh.
And the women were wearing heels. I wasn't wearing heels, but there were a lot of women wearing heels. Like, I felt short in the room.
Hey, have you seen the new guy, the new center on University of Florida? He's 7'9".
I haven't, but I can only imagine.
He was on the team last year, but they redshirted him for a year to kind of put some weight on him. He's 7'9".
Yeah, he's gangly.
He's tall. He's up there.
So, you know, it was a good time. I felt short. The guy was on stage, like, you know, welcoming everyone, and I couldn't even see over people. It was the first time in a while that I've walked into a room and couldn't see all four corners of the room. And you were talking to people. It's like my posture was great because I didn't have to lean over to talk to people. And, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But lots of tall jokes happening. Lots of people looking for their significant others so that they can make Division I children.
It is in the genes, Swebb.
So you never know. You know, like their hope is restored that there are tall men in New York City. The next step is, are you a Christian? What do you do on Sunday mornings? The next step is, who'd you vote for? But we won't even talk about that. Okay, so UNC off to a hot start, 2-0, beat Kansas for the first time in like 20 plus years.
Yeah, well, we've only played them like about 4 or 5 times.
One of the times was 2022 in the national championship game. So
yeah,
one of
and
the
if
recent
Baycott
times.
hadn't sprained his ankle with about 3 minutes to go in that game and had to leave and they had no additional height to come in, that's why they lost that game.
Right. So they're off to a good start. They don't play another ranked opponent until they play Michigan State on November 27th. So they should have a nice, easy run here. And to your point, they look good. They're playing more than 7 or 8 guys. They in the past couple seasons, the bench has been pretty lean.
Because they didn't have talent. That's why they didn't play them.
They have shooters.
Yeah.
Caleb Wilson, their star freshman.
I told you.
Scored, what did he score? He scored 24 points against Kansas, 22 points against Central Arkansas in their first game. And he's here for a year, so we got to make sure we maximize the time with him.
Yep, he's legit. I told you. He can pass, he can block shots, he can rebound.
He can create his shot.
He can play defense, he can handle the ball. He's an NBA player. And he made a number of moves in that game. And the people around me, they were sitting next to me in front of me, said, whoa, that's an NBA move. Whoa, that's an NBA move.
Yeah, Carolina's first points of the game against Kansas was him on an offensive rebound, dunking over someone. So
the roof started flapping when that happened.
So we're feeling good about Carolina. Not so good about the Jets in terms of their play this season, but they made some moves, Dad. Let's talk about the Jets.
Give us the rundown, then we'll discuss it.
So we're recording on a Sunday afternoon. Dad was like, do you want to record after the Jets game? I was like, I have no interest in waiting until the game's over. Okay. Side note before we get into the moves, I have a friend who's in town who works for an agency, but works with the Jets. And she asked me if I wanted to go to the game a few weeks ago. And I said, sorry, I have church, which is true. I
Not at 1 o'clock though.
I had church. Well, I didn't get out of church until 1:30 because today I was running Sunday school. But I did have church, but it wasn't like I wasn't motivated to change my plans and try and get someone to fill in for me. The Jets were playing they're playing the Browns. Jets are 1-7. The Browns are 2-6. It's November. The forecast. It was actually lovely this weekend in New York, but it's just started raining. So I'm good. That wasn't a game I needed to rush to. Now the Jets are tied 17-17 at half. Who knows what's going to happen in this game, but it's really not about this game. It's about the moves that they made this past week just before the trade deadline for the NFL.
Yep.
Lots of activity, lots of positive remarks regarding the Jets trades. So a few key players that they traded away. They traded away Quinnen Williams to the Cowboys. In return, they got a second-round pick for this upcoming draft and a first-round pick for 2027. Also offloaded a lot of and freed up some cap space, and they also got Messiah Smith.
From Michigan. He played at
Michigan. And then they traded away Sauce Gardner to the Colts. In return, they got Adonai Mitchell. They got a 2026 first-round pick and a 2027 first-round pick. And also acquired Jashir Taylor from the Chargers and in exchange for a 2028 seventh-round pick. So,
and they got a wide receiver from the Colts also. Mitchell.
All in all, they freed up, what do they have now?
They have $120 million worth of cap space so far. And when the season's over and they offload a few other guys, they're going to have even more cap space. This is how you build. Now, all they have to do now is draft properly. They're going to have 2 first-round picks this year and a second-round pick, plus all the rest of their picks. And next year, they're going to have 3 first-round picks and a second-round pick, and all the rest of their picks. All they have to do now is draft well. That's it. I can't help them with that. Okay? But everybody says, well, they're always rebuilding. No, not the correct way. The correct way is to buy an infested, dilapidated building, tear it down, and start all over from the bottom. And that's what they've done.
So, all in all, they have draft picks for this upcoming draft, 2026, draft picks for 2027, and they also have a lot of money that will be available. So they should be setting themselves up, if they draft properly, to your point, and if they develop the players that they draft, to set themselves up to have 2 good years of drafting the right guys.
And picking up free agents with all this money they're going to have.
So how long do you give them for this to start, for this to bear fruit?
You'll start seeing a little bit of you'll start seeing improvement next year, maybe a little bit under 500, maybe a 500 type record. And then the following year, load up some more, bring in some more free agents, and then you can start looking at the playoffs.
So you're thinking 2027 is when they become a playoff team?
2027, 2028.
Okay.
But now you can sustain it for a while.
Right. And I would hope to see improvement from this year because they're 1-7. So there's nowhere to go but up. But as a Jets fan, and we talked about this a few weeks ago, that this is what they needed to do. They needed to start trading away their best players, unfortunately, players who have been good for the Jets during a tough stretch. Some of their first-round picks from the most recent years who have been Pro Bowlers and such, but trade those guys away, free up money, get draft picks. You're trading away valuable guys, so you get high draft picks in return, and you also clear up some cap space. So this is the way that when you're 1-7, this is what you should be doing.
Right, and the window is very short for success in the NFL. So because of injuries and because of the salary caps and everything, you got to have the majority of your team all on the same page. Quinnen Williams, he's a great player, but he's 29. He makes a lot of money. Sauce Gardner's 25, 26, but he makes a ton of money. By the time the team's good in a few years, those guys are either going to be looking for another contract, and then you're going to all be tied up with money and stuff. Now, if you could get everybody moving in the same direction on these smaller money contracts, you can be good for 4 or 5 years and have a bunch of shots at getting into a Super Bowl and winning it over a 4 or 5 year period of time. But when you have a bunch of guys that are late 20s and then a bunch of guys that are 21, 22, it never works out.
So there are glimmers of hope for Jets fans.
Oh, there's more than a glimmer of hope. This is how you build.
They're certainly setting themselves up and seem to be doing the right things. Now that they're 1-7, the writing's on the wall. Let's start preparing our future. And it seems like they're building a great foundation. We'll see as we close out this season and, draft. That'll be the real, that's the real
And the
key
guys
here.
they draft have to be serious ball players. They can't be in it for the money. They can't be in it for the fame and being on. I'm tired of seeing these quarterbacks like the guy we shipped off, the guy from Brigham Young, Zach Wilson. Every time you got a picture of him, he's with some girl at a Yankee game, or he's with some girl on the front page of the newspaper. You can't have that. Your butt needs to be in a film room, watching film, going over game plans, and learning. That's what you need to do. You can't be out and about like you're some superstar, like you've done something. You haven't done anything.
Well, I'd like to see the Jets draft some good offensive linemen and defensive linemen from some of the best college programs. I don't need a guy from BYU. I want guys from Big Ten schools and SEC schools.
This year, BYU has a few real good players.
Okay,
they have some.
great.
They always have some good offensive linemen.
Of course, and they're no slouch of a program. But I want some, old school, down and dirty players from from either corn fields in the Midwest or from down south in Texas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. Like, that's what we're talking about here, okay?
Yeah.
I don't want any guys from California.
Whoa. There's some good players out there in California.
Nah. I don't want any guys from California. I want the cornfields of the Midwest, or I want the Southern barbecue. And no in between.
Those guys that have a plow on their back and plowing fields in the Midwest, there's a lot to be said for those guys.
Exactly.
Okay? A lot to be said for those guys.
And
those
as a Michigan
you get some
fan,
Michigan's got some great linemen from those courts, from the Midwest. Okay?
So how is Michigan doing since we last chatted?
They didn't play yesterday. They had a bye.
Thank God.
They're getting there. Man, they're playing with a young team.
2 losses.
That's okay. They're playing with a young team, and they've had a lot of injuries this year. They'll be fine.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And they're playing with a freshman quarterback.
The Miami Hurricanes, they won Saturday afternoon against Syracuse, who essentially ruined their chances of being in the college football playoffs last season. But they now have 2 losses because they just lost to SMU last week. And I'm getting now to the point where they have a few games here against teams that aren't that good. And they'll end the season against Pitt, who is ranked. It looks like if all things go the way that they've been going in the ACC, that the Miami Hurricanes will find themselves outside of the college football playoffs for another year after starting off really strong. And I'm getting to the point now, how I have all these sports jackets, right? I've got a Yankees one, I've got a Knicks one, I've got a Rangers one. So when the Yankees lost in the playoffs, when I did my laundry, washed that thing, put that right in the coat closet with the plastic from the dry cleaner on that thing. That's not coming back out until the spring, okay? And even though the college football season is still going on, I'm getting close to washing the Miami Hurricanes jacket and putting it in the coat closet with the dry cleaning plastic over
You still
it.
have a shot because there's a bunch of teams getting upset. And let me tell you, yesterday, and let me tell you something else. you guys better beware because you got to go up to Virginia Tech, and it's going to be cold up there, and you got to go to Pittsburgh, and it's going to be cold there. And your boys from South Florida always have a problem when they go into cold weather. So you're going to be playing teams that aren't that good, but you better beware.
It's not really my boys. It's Carson Beck, who's turned into the quarterback that Georgia was happily willing to get rid of, who's single-handedly kind of given these 2 games away. If I didn't know any better, and if sports betting wasn't such a scarlet letter right now, I'd be raising questions. But I should start videoing myself taking my jackets, washing them, and then putting them in the back of the coat closet. That's what we're up to these days. It's like I should get all these hats, and you just change one. Once a team isn't doing that well, you change it, you put on a different one. So that's the college football season.
Well,
now,
as you
Knicks
mentioned, the cheating in the gambling in sports, 2 Cleveland Guardians pitchers just got indicted for gambling scheme.
Their closer.
Let me tell you something. This stuff has to stop. Okay? These guys make enough money, they don't have to be getting involved in this stuff. And they're ruining the credibility of sports. You can't have this nonsense. Okay? And I don't want to hear you. Don't blame nobody. Blame yourself. You guys are involved in this foolishness. You guys make millions and millions of dollars. Stop this nonsense. And I hope they throw every one of you clowns in jail. And I hope they throw every one of you guys in jail.
If you're making hundreds of millions of dollars over the course of your career, like there's no reason to gamble unless the only thing that I would think is like you do it recreationally for like poker and stuff like that, and like it all of a sudden
do it without money. Do it with no money.
Okay. Well,
you want to go to a
Michael
casino?
Jordan.
You do. Well, you want to go to a casino? Play a slot machine. Stop the gambling, and you better not be gambling on these sports, on your teams, and on your sport. Every one of these players knows that that's not allowed. It's printed all over their locker rooms. No betting, no betting, no betting. And these fools keep doing it. These guys will probably be going to jail. Okay?
Do you want to have a great life and be a professional athlete, make millions of dollars, and then go retire and live happily? Yes. Like, I don't understand why you even get mixed up in all of this, especially like the whole thing with the NBA. It's a lot of guys. Chauncey Billups is a Hall of Famer, and he was the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. It's like, why even get mixed up in that? Your life is great. Like you're at the pinnacle of your career, and your second career at that, being a head coach in the NBA. Why get mixed up in it? I don't understand. And for Damon Jones, if I was the 9th guy off the bench for my career and made millions and millions of dollars, I would take that and I would have my house in Miami and I would just be hanging out, and that would be it. And
these fools in the media that want to make excuses for them, I don't want to hear it. Okay? I don't want to hear it. Okay? At least Charles Barkley and Shaq said it's wrong. And they know better. Okay? So it takes some 50-year-old, 60-year-old ex-player to say it's right or wrong. But some stooge that works for ESPN is saying, well, you got to, it's this, it's that. Shut up. I'm sick of these people. You can't give two-way message. You can't speak out both sides of your mouth. Either it's right or it's wrong. These guys know they're not supposed to be gambling. Know they're not supposed to be getting involved in this nonsense, and they still do it. And then when they get caught, oh, it's a disease. Yeah, stupidity is a disease.
For anyone tuning in to this episode when we post it, just imagine if I had made a mistake as a kid. This is, I was actually a perfect child and didn't make too many mistakes, but my brother, on the other hand, these are the types of conversations that happen. Hitting the counter, getting mad, eyebrows furrowed. Either it's right or it's wrong. You're a stooge, you're a stooge, you're a stooge. So now you get to see Dad in action with his parenting.
Shut up, Swebb. What else you want to talk about?
So let's close things out with the Knicks. The NBA season going well, as I mentioned. Unfortunately, So a Knicks loss. And by the way, I'm not going any more road games because this team is all I got these days, okay? So I'm not trying to mess anything up by going. I'll go to home games at the Garden. So if anyone wants to offer up some free tickets, your girl will say yes to those. But I'm not going to any road games anymore because I'm not trying to mess up the situation that I have. This is the only team I got. We got to make it. We can't be playing around, okay? So the Knicks, they're 5-3. We're recording on a Sunday. They'll be playing Brooklyn tonight at 6 p.m. They actually have a 3-game winning streak, and they're looking good. All in
It's
all,
all home
looking
games. They haven't won a game on the road yet, and they're in the middle of a 7-game homestand. Then they're going to play a bunch of games on the road. Then they're coming back at home. And I've looked at their schedule for like the next 10, 12 games. There's a lot of I can't believe how many weak teams are in the NBA this year. They might win 70 games this year.
But
There's a
most
lot of
importantly,
weak teams.
they started out the season, they won their first 2 games. They beat Cleveland, they beat Boston. So everyone is getting excited about the Knicks, saying, hey, and commentators as well saying they have a legitimate chance to be in the NBA Finals, which of course we talked about in our season preview. Then they go out and they lose at Miami, then they lose at Milwaukee, lose at Chicago, and then they come back, beat Chicago, Washington, and Minnesota. Strong win against the Minnesota Timberwolves this past Wednesday. So I like what I see all in all. Like, they're still getting adjusted to a new coach who has a completely different system. They're pushing the ball a lot more. There's a lot more ball movement. Their style of play offensively is a lot faster. But we're also seeing a lot more depth out of the bench. So they're going with the starting lineup of Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson as the 2 in the front court. And in the back court, you have obviously Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, and OG Anunoby. Coming off the bench, Josh Hart has been playing great off the bench. Jordan Clarkson's been playing well. Deuce McBride. And then you're getting some production. And Mike Brown's been weaving in Huck Porty and Ubaselli, Daddier a little bit. Like, he hasn't decided who he's going with. He's been, that part has been flexible throughout
But
the
he has
games.
more options than last year's team off the
Right.
bench.
And Shamet has also been playing really well.
Shamet's
off
a nice
the bench.
player.
So, and he's been getting some good time. So, when you're playing a faster style offense, like, these guys can't play 35 minutes a game, 40 minutes a game, because you have to be a marathon runner to like be able to keep up with that cardiovascularly. But I like what I'm seeing out of the Knicks. I think they're only going to continue to get better. Brooklyn's not good, so they should win tonight. But to your point, lots of weak teams, it's wide open. We're only a week and a half into the season, but it seems to 2 weeks into the season, but it's wide open.
And there's a few teams that are a little bit better than they were last year. And it looks like Denver is much better than they were last year because they got a bench this year. They had nothing last year. No bench. They had a good starting 5, but no bench. So we'll see what happens. But the Knicks got to start winning. When they get back on the road, they got to start winning some games on the road.
All right. So, Dad, what are you looking forward to this week?
More action. I'm looking forward to seeing the second half of the Jet game. This
makes
is what I
one of
don't.
us.
This is what I don't want to happen. I don't want to see them picking up some cheap wins late in the season and ruining their draft position. Okay, they got a win 2 weeks ago. Then they had the bye. They don't need to start going off on a winning streak and winning a whole bunch of games here. Okay, and ruining their draft position because they do need a quarterback. Fields, he played great the other day, 2 weeks ago, and then today he doesn't look good. And they got to get some defensive linemen, they got to get some offense, and they got to get some wide receivers that can actually get open.
Well, they had a good week. Let's see what happens. There's still a second half of the game today. For me, listen, I got the Christmas tree up. I'm going to finish decorating. I want it, but I don't want it to feel like an obligation. I want to enjoy it. So I'm going to listen to the Christmas music. I'm going to have Hallmark playing in the background. I might even order some like pizza, just like really enjoy it. Put on my sweats. So I'm going to be doing that by next week when we record. This place will look like Santa's workshop.
What? Mama already started putting up Christmas stuff like a week and a half ago.
I see some nutcrackers behind you, some of her white winter deer. Yes, I am my mother's daughter. Okay.
You guys are nuts.
Before we close things out, do you want to leave everybody with a tip of the week?
I think I already gave it, Swebb, with these clowns with the gambling. Right is right, wrong is wrong. You don't want to see sports is a big part, a major, major part of American culture, regardless of what sport you're into. Everybody's go to a game the other night up at Chapel Hill. There's 21,000 people, from old people that I felt like a kid there to young kids. This is what people do. Everybody having a good time. You don't want this ruined with. And by the way, yesterday a few college basketball players were involved in gambling, and you can't have this stuff. You just can't have it. These guys all know it's not supposed to be, but it's so easy to gamble now with all these new program things. I've never gambled on a sport because I wouldn't want to get involved and ruin my enjoyment.
And let's be honest, some of our teams don't play well enough for us to be taking that chance, okay? For us to be throwing away money. But to your point, right is right, wrong is wrong. Do the right thing. Just do the right thing. And don't do the wrong thing.
And life is easy.
It's not easy, but
well,
it's certainly easier.
Well, get up every day, get dressed, go to work, and you do that week after week and week, and don't blow your money. Eventually, you'll be comfortable.
All right, well, that about does it for Dad and Swebb Talk Sports. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to follow us at Dad and Swebb on Instagram, X, and TikTok. Posted our first post there. More to come. Share this episode with a friend. Also subscribe on YouTube and Rumble. And then share this episode with a friend. We will see you next week.
So long.
Thank you for tuning in to Dad and Swebb Talk Sports, the show where we cover all of our favorite sports moments from the past week. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and Rumble and follow us at Dad and Swebb on Instagram and X. See you next week.